Hey Worship Leader, welcome back to the channel. Now if you're new here, my name is Jimmy Cooper and I created Hey Worship Leader to be a resource for other worship leaders. I really do love helping worship leaders be the best they can be. On this channel we talk about all things worship ministry. I make videos about how to pastor your people through music and how to lead your teams well, and also videos like this one where we're diving into gear. Now I'm pre-recording this because, well, Time is always an issue. But right now, I'm gonna welcome to this video future Jimmy, who's going to give you an update on the giveaway, hopefully to share with you who the winner is. But I hesitate saying that because maybe future Jimmy knows something about the future that, well, I don't know yet. Like maybe there is no winner, maybe they didn't respond, who knows? But we are gonna find out something today, and I'm actually excited to figure out what it is. Are you? Of course you are. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video, most likely. So without further ado, let me welcome Jimmy from the future. Take it away. Hey, Jimmy from the past, it's so good to be here. That's stupid. Anyways, guys, we have a winner. Today, we're gonna figure out who the winner is, but I have 3 things to tell you before we get started. First, if you find out that you are not the winner and you still want to get your hands on this pedal, I will link everything you need to do to get your hands on one of these down in the description below. It's so affordable, it does what it does really well, but I will say that in one of the videos, the first video I made about this where I was telling you about the giveaway and showing you what it could do, I pulled this little thing out of the box, which is the MIDI cable. It does not come with the MIDI cable when you purchase this. I just wanted you to know that, want to be upfront with you about it. The winner of today's giveaway will get this MIDI cable, but just wanted you guys to know that. Number 2, most of you are probably here to see if you won, and that's expected, that's okay, but I also have a great video for you today, so stick around, watch the whole thing, like, subscribe, do all the things, hang out with me, just hang out with me, learn some stuff. And 3, lastly, before I announce the winner, I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you all. You make it so fun to run this channel. It's a great community. I love discussing things with you guys all the time, helping you out with HX Stomp stuff, worship leader stuff. It's just been a really good journey so far, and I'm looking forward to what is to come in the future. I want to say Merry Christmas to you from me and my family, who doesn't want to be on camera, but they support me so well as I make these videos. I really appreciate them as well. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's from the Cooper family. We love you guys. All right, let's see who the winner is. I see who the winner is. Okay, drum roll. The winner is, are you ready? It's Jesse from Oklahoma. Congrats, Jesse. Thank you for playing. Thank you for entering. You have won the Little Robbie Pilot MIDI controller. I hope you enjoy this thing. Well, I mean, I know you're gonna enjoy this thing. It's amazing. I've emailed you already. Just respond, get me your shipping information. I'll get it to you as soon as possible. All right, don't wanna waste any more of your time. Let's get back to the video. I'll see you guys soon. Wow, well, I hope that was good news for you. I have no idea what future Jimmy just said, but past Jimmy is still very excited for you. If you did not win, I'm sorry you didn't win, but if you still want to get your hands on the pedal, I will link all that stuff down in the description. Definitely go check it out. I'm actually going to be sad to be mailing this thing off because it's just so easy. It's so convenient, but it's got to go. Now, if you've been around this channel for the past year, you know my board has changed slightly. In just a few videos back, I rewired some MIDI cables and some other things to get it working a certain way. You definitely go check that out. Back in the day, I used to have a Jet Micro on here, and then not too long ago, I put the MCX on here. Been loving that. I also put the Jackson Audio Broken Arrow on my board, and in order to do that, I had to take my Dunlop X Mini volume expression pedal off, and a lot of you were like, don't you miss your volume pedal? What did you do? Did you sell it? Where is it? Where'd it go? All right, calm down, don't worry. It didn't go anywhere. It's right here. I didn't get rid of it. I love this thing. It's small, it's portable, it's durable, and I thought it's portable enough that if I did want it for something specific like swells, I could always just throw it in front of my chain on the floor and still be able to utilize it. So I'm not gonna be getting rid of this thing. And since then, I've been getting some really in-depth questions about how to use expression with the Stomp. And so today I'm gonna show you some things that you can do with expression. Now, I did mention this is the Dunlop Volume X Mini, which means it's a volume pedal, yes, but it's also expression. You can see it has input, output, and aux right here. So the things we cover today might be a little different if you have a different kind of pedal, but the concepts will be the same. We're gonna look at how to hook it up, what cables you'll need, settings within the HX Stomp to be aware of, and show you some fun things you can do, as well as answer the question that has been floating around a lot. Can you use volume and expression at the same time with this pedal? And lastly, I'm gonna show you how you can use this pedal with the new command center that comes in the Stomp to control some MIDI external pedals. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna wanna watch it, so stick around. And if at any time something is helpful to you in this video, can you please let me know by liking the video, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any new content. All right, first things first, if you have this exact pedal, before you do anything else, you're gonna want to take the panel off, go inside, and flip the invert switch. Before I did this, my heel to toe sweep went from 0 to 100 back to 0 in the sweep. Just one direction. It was very annoying and I didn't understand it. So I had to flip that little switch on the inside. I might as well show you while you're here. I got the drill right here. Pedal, drill, Ryobi. Let's take this thing apart. I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually 2 dip switches in here. Let's see, make sure it'll focus. The top one is the difference between tuner and expression. You can read the manual and see you can also run tuner out if you want. We're not gonna be messing with that. We're gonna leave it on expression. And then this bottom one here goes between tip and ring. I had to put mine on ring to get it to work well with the HX Stomp. All right, easy enough. Let's put it back together. Careful using a drill because you don't want to strip these screws out. I've had many, many years of construction practice. I was gonna say, watch me strip one out. Now that I say that. All right, now how to hook this thing up. Now, if you're just using it as a volume pedal, you can just use a regular instrument cable, patch cable, whatever, going to the input and out the output. But today we're gonna be talking about expression, and to use expression properly and to its fullest extent, you're gonna need a TRS cable. Now, if you're new to cables, you don't know what TRS stands for. It means tip, ring, and sleeve. Tip is the top metal piece. Ring is this middle area here between the black buffers, and this here is the sleeve. And so we have 3 different pieces of information that can come into this one jack. And all that means for us is that now we can either send a stereo signal or at least multiple pieces of information that we will need to use with expression. Now, I did do a test and I plugged in a TS cable into the aux just to see what it would do, and it did. I was able to control like a wall pedal, but it wouldn't control volume, a volume block in the Stomp. And when it did control the wall, it was inverted, so I had to switch some settings in the Stomp to get it to work. Which leads into our next talking point, that there are some HX Stomp internal settings that you need to be aware of. Now, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is go to global settings and make sure that both of these 2 things here are set to expression 1 and expression 2, not foot switch 4 and 5. And then you can adjust the tip polarity right here like I was talking about earlier. But for me, I just left it on normal and that works great for me. Push home and you're ready to go. All right, like I said, to hook it up, you're gonna want to use a TRS cable into the aux input right there. And you plug the other end into this expression 1/2 right here on the back. All right, now let's have some fun. Here's a little patch called expression test that I made to demonstrate some of the things that we're gonna wanna cover. And let's start by answering the question I posed earlier. Can we run expression and volume at the same time? Through the HX Stomp, the answer is yes, and it's easy. Now, if you're running a traditional rig, the answer is still yes, but it's a little more difficult, and you're gonna need some extra pieces of gear. We'll use the HX Stomp to visualize what we would need if we were running this with a traditional rig. But before we jump into doing this, let's ask the question why. Why would someone want to run volume and expression at the same time? Because at first it doesn't make sense to me. Like if you set your expression up to have a certain setting on the heel and a different setting on the toe, but you also have volume running at the same time, you're only gonna hear the toe position, because when it's in the heel position, your volume is down and you hear nothing. But I think the motive that I've heard behind this question, that I've heard several times, different forums and stuff, is not can they run at the same time, but can they switch between the 2 without having to bend over and switch cables? And now posing the question like that makes more sense, because to me, I can see how that would be helpful. You might want to have a wall pedal for one sound and then click a button and then be able to do some ambient swells all within like the same song or the same preset. And that is possible. Let me show you how to do it. So on our expression test preset here, I have a wah pedal. I also have a reverb just because, we'll get to that in a minute. And I also have a volume block here. And inside that volume block, I also have my stereo effects loop so we can hear some reverb. And as far as the amp, I just brought in the AC30 Fawn Bright, and that's what we got. First, with the wall pedal, let me show you how I set this up. First, don't pay attention to the bypass. Let's go to the position. I went to position of the expression, and you can do its minimum and maximum position right here. So if you want the wall to go all the way down, max position should be 100, minimum position should be 0, and that would make the sweep go from 0 to 100, and it would sound something like this. Now, I don't have it on the floor, but get the point. It's a wah pedal. Now let's turn that off and let's go over here to our volume pedal. And let's go ahead and turn our effects loop on because we want to do a washy reverb with maybe some shimmer, and it would sound like this. Now for the settings of the volume pedal here, let's don't pay attention to the bypass just yet. We'll get to that in a second. The position, we want minimum volume and maximum volume. Now you could adjust this, same with the wah if you wanted to. If you put this to 50, when the position of this is all the way to the heel, it's only gonna go to 50%. The volume won't completely go away. Or if you thought coming all the way up was too loud, you could also bring the max position down a little bit. But for our purposes, we're gonna go 0 and 100%. And now we can do some swells. Typical stuff, and you can see the sweep of this thing moving as I'm moving the pedal. Now, if we wanted to do like what the question asked, be able to do wah and volume or expression and volume in the same preset, you would just need to make sure that you save the on and off, the bypasses, to be toggled by the same switch, but doing the opposite, if that makes sense. So right now I have, let's go here to the volume, the bypass, it is controlled by foot switch 3, and also the bypass for our wah is controlled by foot switch 3, and I just made sure that one of them is on and one is off, and I save it just like that. So that way, when, let's see if we can see it, when I click this one button, the volume pedal goes away and my wah pedal comes on. So let's switch that. This should be my very ambient reverb. Now I have a wah pedal. Let's do this. We'll get a nice droning sound here. So you can see this is pretty easy with the Stomp, but what if you want to do it with a traditional rig where you don't have the Stomp to move blocks around and adjust settings like that? How would you would, first of all, you would need to come out of the aux and then also use the input and the output. So all three of these holes would be taken. But what would you need to do to make sure that your expression still works even when your heel is down and the volume is gone? Well, you would have to do, in essence, what we did inside the Stomp, and that is make sure that one of these channels, one of these signal paths is being bypass through a looper. There's all kinds of these different things. I used to have one on my pedal board that was an A/B switcher, so I could switch my overdrive section when I wanted to play electric, and then if I wanted to play acoustic and I just wanted to go through my reverb, I could switch it and bypass some things. The same thing would have to be done with this. So the signal chain would be like leaving your guitar, going into the input, out of the output, into that little A/B switcher, and then you would need to come out of your aux into whatever effect back into that A/B switcher. That way when you toggle that switcher, it would either be doing volume or wah. But yes, you can do both. Now the only downside I see to this traditional approach as opposed to being able to do it in the Stomp is that with a traditional approach, I don't think that you can have trails like on a reverb. As you can see when we're doing it in the Stomp, we're switching it on and off. One of the effects had a really wet reverb, and since you can set like the effects loop to have trails on, you still heard the trails going on while I was doing the wah at the same time. There was no abrupt cut. But correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know of a looper or an A/B switcher that has trails. They are usually true bypass switchers, which means that it completely bypasses it, and so you can't have trails with that. If I'm wrong and you know of a looper that does have trails, please let me know. It's something that I had looked for years back when I had another reverb pedal on my traditional board. I had the Mr. Black Eterna, and it was my favorite reverb, but it was true bypass, and therefore when I switched it off, it would just go off. There were no trails, no nothing, and so that didn't work for me. And so I looked for like a looper or switcher that would continue the trails on when I switched it off, and I just didn't find anything like that existed. So if it does exist, if I'm wrong, please correct me. Let me know where it is. I would love to see that. But as far as I know, if you're gonna try to switch between the two channels with a traditional rig with a looper, you won't have trails, and that's the only downside that I can see. Now let me show you some other things you can do with an expression pedal in case you're still thinking, hey, do I want an expression pedal? Is it worth it for me? One thing you can do is control the sweep of any parameter, and we've already done that with the wah here, but you can do multiple things with an expression like this, especially through the Stomp. But let's say as we're doing a wah, we also want to do this weird effect with the sweep of the wah is also controlling a parameter on this reverb. So let's mess with the decay, and we will go to expression 1, and let's make the decay real low at the beginning and a little higher with the toe down position. Now let's see if that works. You can see the decay is moving. Let's also change the mix, same way. Expression 1, the mix we want to be, let's just say 26% and bump it up to 45%. Let's save that. And now we can see that we have two parameters moving with the wah. Let's see what that sounds like. So we're gonna turn the volume pedal on, do a swell. That is my revelation. I'm gonna click that off, still have trails. And now I have wah. That's pretty cool. And you can set this to control any parameter that you want. You could literally change every parameter on multiple effects with this expression pedal. Which leads me to the next thing, a little trick that I saw on another channel where you can actually use this as your volume on a preset without using an actual volume block. Now the reason you might want to do this is because a volume block does that, it takes up another block, and if you know anything about the Stomp, we already have a limited amount of blocks. The trick is that you can set the expression pedal to control the channel volume of your amp, and that will control the overall volume of your whole preset. So we'll go here, instead of bypass, we will go to channel volume, and we can use expression 1. Okay, so now we can see that when we move our expression pedal, our channel volume goes from 0 to 10. Now to know the difference between channel volume and master volume on an amp, master is directly related to some of the other effects and also adds drive to your signal, where channel volume is just pure volume. So toe down, we should have no sound, and we can do swells if we wanted. So that's a quick way, a little trick to not have to use a volume block, but still be able to have volume with an expression pedal. Now let me show you one more thing you can do using Command Center. I actually made another preset down here. I've already set some of this up, but if you go up here to Window, Command Center, you can use expression pedals to send MIDI commands to external MIDI pedals. So for instance, I have my Revelation MIDI reverb over here on channel 2. I'm controlling the control knob, which is this shimmer right here. I have a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 58. That way when the heel is down, we shouldn't get any shimmer. And then when the toe is up, we'll at least get 59% shimmer. And then on this side, I think I also increased the mix. I have a minimum mix of 6 and a maximum mix of 25. Let's bump these up a little bit so we can actually hear the difference. So with heel down, we should have a low mix with no shimmer. Then as we put the toe down, we should introduce a little more mix and some shimmer. Let's hear what it sounds like. You can hear the shimmer go away. Let's bring it back. Let's just say we want a bunch of shimmer, and we want the mix to be very extreme. Let's just do it, if we're gonna do it. just took a wrong note and made a song out of it. So literally there are endless possibilities with this. There's tons of things you can do. I would definitely suggest if you have an HX Stomp, grab one of these and just fiddle around with it, see what you can do. You can mess with wall, you can mess with parameters. It's really cool to be able to sweep through parameters on the Stomp and even external pedals. I haven't even used it yet with the overdrive. I don't know if there's anything I can use there, but I'm definitely gonna play with it. And that's just it. You can really do whatever you want. So the question is, what do you want to do? Well guys, I hope today's video was helpful for you. Like I said, please like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel. I'm really excited for what next year is going to bring. This past year has been amazing and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching the videos and building this community. I couldn't do it without you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.